Alright, today I'm just going to make a few changes in decks, and the last one's going to be a bit complex. The second one is going to be minor complexity. The first one is inspired by Jay Rizzle and Regiment Joker. Both of them saw the change I made to Edgar Markov yesterday, and they said, "What are you doing? Why don't you just take out Vindicate for Vindicate guy? That would have been a lot simpler." And I looked at it and I thought, yeah, that would have made it a lot easier if I just putting in Vindicate guy, if I just took out the Vindicate, because they both come down at sorcery speed. There's Vindicate guy from the genie. So the genie gave me Vindicate guy, said put it in your Edgar deck, but don't bring that shit to the pub night. And then yesterday he relented and said, yeah, you can bring that shit to the pub night. I'll just pay a lot of protection for black. That is basically how I built Edgar. And Edgar is basically, essentially, truthfully, a black deck that splashes a bit of red and white. White for protection. Some buffing. Let me adjust this fucking camera. I don't like the angle. There we go. Alright, so where the hell is the Vindicate? That's not it. It should be easy. It's just, you know, multicolored card with Soren on it. I don't have a lot of multi. There it is. Okay, so Vindicate is coming out because Vindicate can hit lands though. That is the one advantage it has over Vindicate guy. The thing is, we really don't lose a lot of land destruction, and most lands I play with, it's rare that they'll have a land I want to destroy, so I don't need to worry about it. So what comes out? Okay, Vindicate. What goes in? Either Bloodline Necromancer or Drana goes back in. They both have the same CMC. He's 4 and 1 black. She's 3 and 2 black. He's a 3/2 lifelinker. She's a 4/4 flyer. So when it comes to power, toughness, and ability, she has the edge. But when he comes into play, I may return a vampire from a graveyard to the battlefield. So he comes into play and raises the dead. She, I can dump mana into and kill something and make her bigger. So, which effect do I want more? That's the real question. First, let's see how many reanimation effects I have in the deck. Just kind of blitz through it. I've got a lot of sacrifice effects. Sacrifice sex. What? That sounds like some dirty necrophiliac shit. Sacrifice. I'm going to stop talking about that. Okay, I've got Obsidat's Aid. Turn target permanent from the graveyard to the battlefield. But it gets enchantments and artifacts. Otherwise, if it does hit creatures, and Bloodline Necromancer would be the would replace that right away. So what do I have with recursion? What do I have to bring things back out of the graveyard? It looks like I don't have a whole hell of a lot, doesn't it? It looks like I basically have Obsidat's Aid, and that's kind of it. There's also Vora's Stronghold. Exiles. There's Evgeny the Complaining Russian. Let's see. So it looks like maybe the Bloodline Necromancer is the better option, because I did take out the Patriarch's Bidding, I do believe, because it seemed kind of slow in this deck. So, okay, this is only when it attacks. Return creature card to CMC 3 or less. That puts a creature back on top of my library. Does he? Nope, he doesn't do any of that recursion shit. Well, that makes everybody sacrifice, draws me cards, hits people, What, Max? What do you want now? Well, I really don't have much recursion in this deck. I'm really surprised. Let me just make another run through. I will let you out after I get done. Just be quiet and be patient. Activate abilities? Jesus. Huh. Maybe that's a weakness of the deck. Maybe that's something I need to sort out. Jesus. I don't have a lot of ways of bringing my vampires back. Sometimes I really want to do it. Damn. Okay. All right. So it's going to be Bloodline Necromancer because I don't have a lot of recursion. Drana is good. Drana is bigger. Drana is able to kill things, but I've got a lot of things that can kill things. And him. So, kind of if the game goes long and everything dies, well, I can put him back on top with Vora Stronghold, and then when I cast him, recast him, I get somebody else to come back. Alright, so Bloodline Necromancer instead of Vindicate. Okay, so changes to Sorn are complete. Let's go to the next one, which has been... What, Max? What? What do you want? It's windy out there, Max. It's cold and windy. Do you really want to go outside? Is that what you want? Hey, I'm talking to you, Max. Is that what you want? You Goomba. You Goomba cat. Okay, next up is some more changes to Kaervek. I did a few changes yesterday. Well, I attempted to make a few changes yesterday. I basically made one change to the mana base. What I'm going to do is take out some lands that really aren't doing anything anymore. Yes, I will let you out. I already said that. No, not now. You have to wait. Just be patient. I'm going to take that out. I'll explain why I'm taking them out once I get to them. So there's Kaervek the Merciless. Okay, nick those. That comes out. Which is going to be odd. I know this is going to sound odd in this deck. I really don't need Hammerheim anymore. I mean, there's almost no land walking, but it's just so pretty. I just like it. So, although it'd be better to put in a snow-covered mountain because of blood on the snow, and only because of blood on the snow. Okay, I'm going to take that out. I still have not figured out what to take out for the Undying Evil. Still don't know. I'm still not getting any ideas. You people are lazy. Give me some ideas. What are you doing to me? You're not giving me no ideas. It's a two-way street here. I'm making the videos. You give me the ideas, and I make more videos. Bloody hell. Alright, so I'm making this deck. I'm making this black deck, mono black, that needs Nykthos. Kaervek, even though the whole game plan is get to a lot of mana as quickly as possible, so as to cast Kaervek and recast him as many times as necessary to close out the game, I realize not only do I not really see Nykthos trying to nix that much, but it often doesn't do anything. Kaervek is very equipment, very artifact heavy. He has a lot of artifacts. They're colorless. They provide no devotion. It's pretty rare that I have more than, say, 6 pips of any one color on the battlefield. So even then, if I get Nykthos, okay, that's another 4. That is an advantage. That is good. But it doesn't come up in Kaervek that often. So I'm going to take out Nykthos and give it to that mono black deck that I'm making because it needs it. Oh my god, does it need it. Also, Petrified Field. I have this in here as a holdover from the days when I used to play with a very aggressive, much higher power level group. It was faster and more aggressive. Land destruction was pretty rampant. So I had Petrified Field to get key lands back. But the group I play with now, doesn't play with land destruction. So I don't really need Petrified Field. I really don't need that colorless land. And then Bojuka Bog, I just don't want to do it. I don't like, and I've said this on other videos where I talk about Bojuka Bog. It's efficient, it's effective, but it forces you to make the decision when it comes into play, and it forces you to make the decision. You have to exile somebody's graveyard. And what do I see usually when people play Bojuka Bog in my my group? They play it, and nobody's really running any graveyard strategy, or they haven't started to kick off their graveyard strategy. So, person will play it. I play Bog. How many cards do you have in your graveyard? 3. How many cards do you have in your graveyard? None. How many cards do you have over there? 2. Okay, I'll exile 3 cards. And so, it doesn't really do anything. Unless you can bounce it back and repeat it to exile somebody's graveyard when you need to, being forced to do it when it comes into play, most of the time it's just not that effective. And that's what I've come to realize with this card. Just not that effective, and forces you into a choice you might not want to make. So I still got the Undying Evil set to the side that I want to put into Kaervek somehow, but I'm not sure how. But as far as those 3 lands, here are the options. I've got Care Keep. I could put this flat copy in. All it does is make little piss ants to sacrifice. But I don't really need piss ants just to sacrifice. I used to think sometimes, and I have used it once or twice, not very often. Somebody's attacking me, okay, I can make a blocker at instant speed. Okay, great. If that's what I'm doing, if I'm making a 0-1 at instant speed so as not to get hit with something, there's probably better things I should be doing with my time in my deck. So either the deck is not working, if that's what I'm reduced to, or things have gone really, really wrong. In any case, I don't think I want Care Keep in there right now. And then we've got Reflecting Pool. Sometimes Kaervek has problems with his colors. This will help sort it out because I can produce red or black depending on what I have, so I can create more of what I have. And for example, Gratuitous Violence is triple red. 2 and triple red. So this would give me that other red. So I'm thinking that is a good idea. And then Temple of the False God. So it just does what it does, says what it does. That would be a good idea. And right now I have 8 snow-covered swamps and 8 snow-covered mountains. And if I'm taking out black, if I'm taking out a color producer, I should put in a color producer. To be perfectly fair, I should balance it. I should have 1 of each. I should go from 8 of both to 10 because the deck is about half and half. It's about half red, half black. It's got a touch more red in the overall mana cost than black, but not a big difference. I think it's 42% black, 43% or something like that. I was checking Moxfield. They have that really helpful feature that shows the percentages of the casting cost of your deck. It's not perfect. It's not exactly split. Yeah, see, 3 red. But it's pretty good. And then a cool black, black, red, red. Need that to cast him. Is there anything else I should take out while I'm at it? I mean, Bonder's Enclave is a recent addition, but I think it'll give me some incremental card draw. Let me just make one quick run through before I commit myself to anything. Ancient Tomb, Smoldering Marsh. Urborg, Grass von Yawgmoth. On the French version of Yawgmoth, so the German version, it's Yawgmoth. English version, Yawgmoth. French version, Yogg-Zebul. Something like that. They changed the name. They Frenchified his name. It's pretty funny. I wonder if they did that with other languages. I've not seen the other languages, so I don't know. All right. So I kind of want to keep. I want to keep the balance. I want to keep the balance in black and white. So I am. If I put one of those in there, I put the other one in there. That's just the way it's going to be. Temple of the False God kind of replaces. It doesn't really replace Nykthos. If I have, like I said, if I've got 4 black on the field, 4 colored pips, which sometimes that's all I've had, or 4 red pips, which is more, seems to be more common for some reason. It costs me 2 to tap Nykthos. I have to tap Nykthos to get it. So unless I'm tapping Soul Ring, I'm still paying 3 to get 4. If I have Temple of the False God, then all I require is 5 lands, and I get that 2 colorless. I'm hoping that putting in this swamp and this forest, because like I said, sometimes it feels like he doesn't have quite enough of his colors, and that's because I have all these special lands, all these non-basics that produce colorless, and with so many, even though it's not a high percentage of the deck, if I start getting them, if I start drawing them and playing them at the expense of drawing and playing these basic lands, or my color producing dual lands, it starts feeling cold. It starts feeling like I'm not getting the heat and color and flash I need. So let's do that. I'll try that. I'll take out Nykthos for the black deck. I'll take a Petrified Field and just put it in the art binder for now. I don't... Or a deck that goes to Astruzna. Astruzna, there's more land destruction, so I'll save this for a deck that goes up there. Butchika Bog. Yeah, I'll just put it in the art binder probably. Reflecting Pool, that'll go somewhere. I don't know where yet. I'm sure I'll figure out another place. Alright, so let's get to the complex one. This one's going to be fun. So, Kaervek. Kaervek's one of my oldest decks. I've had him for at least 10 years. At least. Put that there. Alright. Yes. The dragon. Let's restructure the dragon. So Korvald, Fey Cursed King. This is my Jund deck. This is what half of Karthus became. So half of Karthus, when I broke him up, became Voya. It was supposed to be Tribal Elves. It devolved into something else pretty goddamn quickly. It's no longer Tribal Elves, that's for damn sure. And then I wanted a Jund deck, so that became Korvald. So whenever he enters battlefield or attack, sack another permanent. Never sack a permanent, he gets bigger and I get a card. And what I've noticed is my build, one of the problems I have is I have lots of ways to sacrifice things, but I don't have a lot of things to sacrifice. So let me talk about what I want to put in first. First off, Mikaeus, the Unhallowed. So 3 triple black for a 5/5 legendary zombie cleric. He's intimidating. He doesn't like humans. He likes non-humans because he can bring them back from the dead and make them bigger. So he's going in there. Reaper Crag, that's just to complete the cycle of 3. And I wanted this art because I didn't have one, so I got that. Fiend Artisan, this is going to replace the Birthing Pod. Birthing Pod is, they occupy kind of the same space. Let me wait and get the Birthing Pod so I can show you side by side for the few of you that haven't seen them before. Endrixa, Master Breeder. 5.
That's a weird...
Birdie Pod.
No, you said something birdie. That's...
Endrixa.
That's a weird name.
Well, he's a weird guy.
Well, he is when he has some kind of zombie things here.
Well, he breeds them. He grows them. They're called thralls.
Okay. So it's kind of like zombies.
No, they're black creatures. They're just like black little monsters. Just little black monsters.
So that little black little things.
The little black monsters that bite you on your ass.
No, they bite you on the butt.
What do you think your ass is?
A butt?
See, there you go. Okay, so whenever I cast a creature spell, I create X11 black butt-biting black monkeys tokens, where X is that spell's mana value. When I control 7 or more of these little bastards, sacrifice him. Well, it seems like pretty quickly he would die, right? Well, if I'm sacrificing the tokens at a high enough rate, then he's going to stick around longer. But in any case, the deck has black in it, so I'll just bring him back from the dead. Scurry Oak. I was really happy to get this. And this is going to sound odd that this is going to feature, I think, features so strongly in the deck. So it only costs 3. It's only 1/2, which is good. Whenever it evolves and gets a +1/+1 encounter, or gets a +1/+1 encounter in another way. Ooh, what if I put Forgotten Ancient in this deck? I wonder if I have enough other cards to justify Forgotten Ancient. I need to look that up. So anyway, this guy, he comes into play, and even Blazing Effigy, 0/3. His toughness is bigger, so he would get a +1/+1 counter, and I get a squirrel. So I get things to sacrifice. He is directly replacing Zuriel. They both have the same power and toughness. She comes down faster, but I'm having a lot of problems figuring out how to draw 2 cards each turn in the early game. Obviously, when Korvald comes into play, drawing 2 cards a turn is going to be pretty damn easy. But I need some tokens in the early game in order to have things to feed to him later. So that's where Scurry Oak comes in. So she's going to be replaced by Scurry Oak. Conduit of Worlds. This is going to replace the Splendid Reclamation. So this will replace Splendid Reclamation. Rather than a sorcery that allows me to dump all the lands from the graveyard, my graveyard, into play, it's probably better just to have something incremental with an added benefit. So this is basically Crucible of Worlds. I can play lands from a graveyard, and if I don't plan to cast anything else that turn, I can, and only as a sorcery, I can cast 1 permanent from our graveyard, but that's the only spell I get that turn. So it's got added utility. There's some restrictions, but it's kind of nice that it's there. It gives me more options, and more options is good. Arachnogenesis. Instant Fog that creates tokens that I can sacrifice. So create X 1/2 green spider creatures, where X is the number of creatures attacking me, prevent all combat damage to be dealt this turn by non-spiders. So I don't even have to block. I just go, bang, I get a bunch of tokens, I just let those creatures hit me, and they don't only need damage to me. Or I can have a few of the spider tokens block some of the creatures attacking to kill them, and I still have the tokens sitting around. Oh, Wake the Dead. Okay, this is going to replace Death Denied, because I think in this deck this is going to be a lot better, especially if I have Mikaeus out. If I have Mikaeus out during my opponent's combat step, and even if they're not going to attack, okay, we'll just skip it. They'll do their first main phase, and I got nothing to attack with. Wait. You still get a combat phase. You're going to take your combat phase. You have to have a combat phase. That's how this game works. During that combat phase, even though you plan to do nothing, I'm going to wake the dead. They're going to come into play. And at the end of turn, I'm going to sacrifice them, and all the non-humans are going to come back because of Mikaeus the Unhallowed. That's the plan. That's kind of the dream. That's kind of the vision. Probably ain't going to work like that, but I'm going to try it out. So that is 1, 2, 3 cards with a set known 4 cards land. Those have known things to replace. You can't even, can you see them? Can't even really see them. Okay, let me put them down where you can see them. Let me get them off the box. Jesus Christ. Stand up, Korvald. So, Korvald can stand up. There we go. Okay, so these four, I already know what I'm taking out for them. These four, I do not know what I'm taking out for them. So let's go through. Let's have some fun. Alright, first off, Jorel. Jorel comes out. Skuriok comes in. If I figure out a way to draw those second cards early in the game. If I was playing blue, I mean, I've got Jorel in Edgar. Edric's Spymaster Trust. And she works really well there because with Edgar, it ain't that hard to start drawing cards early in the game. But with Jund, it's a little bit more complicated. Okay, there's the birthing pod. So let's look at this. Okay, he comes down a bit quicker because black-blue or black-green hybrid, black-green hybrid, birthing pod, not that much more, 3 and 2 life effectively. But he's a creature, he has more utility. X and 1 black, 1 green. Sacrifice another creature, search the library for a creature card with current mana cost X or less, put on the battlefield and shuffle. Activate only if you could cast. They both can only be activated as sorceries. This one, 1 in the green, sack a creature, search your library for a creature with CMC equal to that creature's casting cost plus 1, and put it on the battlefield. So they both put the creatures into play untapped. He can find any creature as long as I can pay its mana cost plus 1. He can find any creature as long as I'm sacrificing a creature that's 1 mana cost less. And what I've noticed is this deck has a lot of creatures around 4. Few creatures around 4. So it's going to be, unless I make a birthing pod chain, you know, from 4 to 5, 5 to 6, it's kind of difficult to go up each step. And also that some of the creatures I really don't want to sacrifice because I want to keep them in play for some reason. So for that reason, birthing pod is going to come out because of the added complication of going up the steps incrementally. Yes, it does make it so it costs more, but he is more reliable. He just goes and finds the creature as long as I have the mana to spend on it. So Fiend Artisan goes in. Let's see. Okay, here's Death Denied. So let's take a look at these side by side. They both cost the same. They're the same. This returns X creature cards from graveyard to hand. So this saves creatures from being exiled from a graveyard. In response to an exile effect, I can put them back in my hand. This, okay, Wake the Dead. I can only cast during an opponent's combat step. So, but I can return creatures from the graveyard to the back. Just they come into play, and I sacrifice them at the beginning of the next end step. They occupy a little bit of the same space. They're both in there for the same reason, to bring creatures back out, but this can be in response to graveyard exile. This cannot. This only puts them in my hand. This puts them into play. And if it's a bunch of non-humans, when I would go to sacrifice them, if Mikaeus is out, he gives them Undying. So they would come back to be sacrificed, come back bigger. So I'm going to try that. I'm going to put Wake the Dead in Korvald instead of Death Denied. Alright, let's keep going. What else was I going to take out? So, looking for that splendid reclamation to come out instead, come out for Conduit of Worlds. Oh yeah, that's the other way. So another way of getting all my lands back is just sacrificing this guy. World Shipper. Yeah. Yeah, what do you want? Die. Ugh. Get my lands back. I wonder if he would actually sound like that. I wonder how he would actually sound in real life. Probably gurgling because he's a merfolk and has a mouthful of water all the time. There it is, Splendid Reclamation. Okay. So these are the easy cuts. Splendid Reclamation, return all lands to graveyard to the battlefield tapped. It's a 4-mana sorcery. Conduit of Worlds. Oh, it's already in a sleeve. But is that a good sleeve? It's not my sleeve. Is that? That's not a KMC sleeve, so I'll put it in the sleeve. So put that there, put this here. Jump around and call it good. Alright, so the easy changes are done. Those are the... Yeah, let's put him here. Yeah, let's do that. That'll be good for the thumbnail for this video. Like that. Yeah, there we go. Okay, easy change to made. Now let's go through the more difficult changes. So Indrixar, Arachnogenesis, and Mikaeus. Arachnogenesis I'm not completely tied to. I don't really need it. But Mikaeus and Indrixar, yes, I do want them in. Creekwood Liege, I was thinking of taking him out for Indrixar, but he creates tokens, makes things bigger. This guy can create all kinds of nastiness. I'm sacrificing creatures, and I'm getting treasure, and then I can sacrifice treasures if I don't have enough creatures, so perfect. Sacrifice, destroy something. Grab somebody else's permanent, and then I can sacrifice that. That sounds fair to me. Sacrifice creature, destroy target non-black creature. I don't know. I don't know how much I will need this because my opponents are playing black, and I did not put a distorting lens in this deck. Let's put that up there to think about because we'll see how many other kill thing spells I have. Okay, she drags something out of the graveyard, and I can sacrifice it, so that's good. Dragon Skull Summit, yep. Valentin. This can make the pests. And I don't really like that it exiles my opponent's creatures, but he is what he is, and he's a 1/1 lifelinker. Menace, so he comes out early. Yep. Akul, the Unrepentant. So sack 3 of the creatures. I can drop a creature card from hand onto the battlefield. Let's see if I have anything big. Land. Sacrifice, go find land. Siege Gang Commander. So he is, I believe he's the only goblin in the deck. And I just have him as a way of making tokens, plus a way of having some incremental direct damage. Do I want to keep him? Probably. Basilisk Collar. What do I have this for? Oh, for the Mayhem Double. Keep that. I'll probably replace Rootcrown Crag with Hammerheim. I'll see if there's another land that I'd rather take out instead. Destroy target land permanent. Okay, that takes care of token armies. And with the Guinea Zoo zombie deck, I need a way of taking care of token armies. That's for damn sure. Find a forest, blow shit up, fog, get, I guess just Tormund script, get Tormund script back. No, I'm going to copy your Cyclonic Rift that you overloaded, and my copy will resolve before yours does, so bounce all your shit back. Yes, I do know that I have to bounce all my shit back too, so does he, but you're going to suffer with us. Blood Crypt, Goblin Bombardment, Skyshard Ranger, put a land for... I'm going to be drawing cards, a lot of cards with Korvald. Over the course of the game, a lot of cards. And I'm going to be drawing lands, so I need ways of putting those lands into play. Skyshard Ranger's Days. perfect. Whenever land comes into play, I get something to sacrifice, or something to eat, or something to make mana, so perfect. Go find a land, and it is sacrifice. So, triggers Korvald if he's in play. He'll probably be sacrificed before Korvald comes into play in order to get the mana to put Korvald into play, but that's another thing entirely. Alright, Marin of Clan. Okay, this deck kind of is an evolution. So, I used to have a Savra of the Golgari, Queen of the Golgari deck, and that was unsatisfying. And then Marin of Clan Toth came out in 2015, almost 10 years ago. She came out, and I started playing her, and that was a lot of fun. And then people started playing more graveyard effects, so she became less fun because they kept killing my fucking graveyard. And then Voldrata came out, and Marin, I took the old ideas and the dusty pieces I still had left, and turn it into Voldrata because she can protect her graveyard. She's got access to blue. She has Trick Bind, she has Siren Stormtamer, she has Disallow, things like that. And so now I'm keeping the Marin idea, but putting it under the command of Korvald. So whenever another creature dies, I'll get experience counters. And she's way bringing things back. There's that foil. Let's look at this right quick. Look at this side by side. Look how dark the foil is. I like that it's foil, but it's a bit unsatisfying. Look, Emma, look how dark it is and how light this is, how you can see the art much better.
Yeah, but why is this so dark? Oh.
Because it's foil. No, it's not the sleeve. It's the foil process. The foil process made it darker.
But why did they foil it? And just
because some are foil because they're shiny and they're more expensive. And people like them. I like it. I like it foil. It's just, it's darker.
This fairy is nice.
That's not a fairy. She's a woman that's fighting through spider webs.
With the web, she looks sort of like a fairy.
Yep, and the spiders are coming after her, and she's like, spiders, no!
Mm-hmm.
Okay, land. Get my lands back. Land. Blow up somebody's artifact and get tokens out of it. Yep. Land. I can get this back with Glissa. Do I need this? This is kind of funny in this deck, I think. So I hit somebody, I get their artifacts, I can start sacrificing them, or I can save them, and if I get 20 artifacts, I win the game. So Korvald has an alternate win condition. Timeless Witness. When I was building this, I did not have another Eternal Witness on hand. I had this Timeless Witness. And it's essentially the same card, she just costs one more, and she has the Eternalize ability, which I don't plan to use because it's Commander, I can just get her back. So that's why she's there and not Eternal Witness, because I just didn't have one at the time. And now I have some extra, but I'm just sticking with it. Hey, make some... How many cards do I have in my hand? I have 7. That's 7 things to feed to Korvald. For a Stronghold, Solemn Simulacrum, Zern Orb. I've got a dirty combo in Voldrata with Zern Orb and Obnixilis and World Shaper. It's a bit of a Rube Goldberg device, but it'll be funny if I ever pull it off. High Market, there he is, Mayhem Devil. I'd like to get a foil one, but I had this flat window sitting in a junk binder because it's something I didn't want to play. And then I'm looking at Korvald, and putting him in is not my idea. I was watching the nitpicking nerds. Anyway, they're talking about Korvald and how he's a strong commander, and they flash this guy up on the screen to show one of the broken cards that people play with Korvald. And I thought, I wonder if I have any of those. That looks like it's really important to the deck. If they're saying this is one of the key broken cards in the deck, I should probably listen to them. Because normally I don't I don't go looking on the net for different cards from my decks. I take advice from friends. I take advice from you lads when you tell me things in the comments. But I don't look up EDH rec. I want my decks to be mine, with suggestions from friends and fans. So let's keep going. Okay, crop rotation. Yep, sacrifice land. Go find. I think I have Guy's Cradle in here. You kill all my creatures. I'm going to make a bunch of bears. You have my Granger. Sacks. Go find some basic land. Put some plate tapped. Okay, World of Wilding. If I'm drawing a lot of cards with Korvald, I'm sacrificing a lot of things. Instead of drawing the cards, I have this replacement effect, so I can create an army of bears instead of taking the cards. There's also an infinite combo with Mayhem Devil, Words of Wilding, and Ashnod's Altar. So what happens is, sacrifice a creature to the altar, get 2 colorless mana. Spend the mana. The next time you would draw a card this turn, put a 2/2 green bear token in play instead. So that goes on the stack. Sacrificed a permanent, so that deals 1 damage to any target. So Korvald says, hey, you sacrifice something, would you like to draw a card? And you say, no, I would like to make a bear instead. Alright, Words of Wilding makes the bear. You sacrifice the bear to Ashnod's Altar, make 2 colorless mana, trigger it. He says, you sacrifice something, I'm going to hurt somebody real bad, shoots them. Korvald says, would you like to draw a card? And you say, no, I would like to make a bear. And you just keep going. And you just go, Korvald's machine gun is what I call it. So that's Korvald's machine gun. I don't expect to pull it off, but maybe we'll. Okay, he's in here for the haste, and he's also in here to snatch somebody else's creature and sacrifice it. Forest. If I'm going to sacrifice stuff, everybody should sacrifice stuff too. That's only fair. Land. This is the board wipe in the deck, besides the machine gun. Havoc Demon. So 7 for a 5/5 flyer. When he dies, all creatures get -5/-5 until end of turn. Obviously, the goal is to have Korvald at 6 or higher power toughness in order not to be killed by the Havoc Demon. But if he dies, he dies. I'll get him back. Go find a land, put it in my hand, shuffle. Helm of Possession, sacrifice creature, grab somebody else's creature, sacrifice for Korvald, untap Helm of Possession during my untap step, sack a creature, get another creature, sack it. Yeah. Corpse Dance. Okay, I need something to sacrifice right now. So, spend 5. Top creature from my graveyard comes into play. It has haste, and if I sacrifice it, the exile within the turn doesn't matter because it's not there. Nowadays, to stave this off, they say if it would leave play, exile it. But back in Tempest, they didn't really think about it. They didn't really see any need. So, yeah, you can have it until the end of the turn, then you have to exile it. Today, they know you're going to do some broken shit and bring back some big nasty bastard. And if it would leave play, they want you to exile it. That's how they phrase those sort of things today. Deathrush Shaman, Fleshbag Marauder. Everybody sacks a creature when it comes into play. That's an ugly guy. That guy's just ugly, fugly. Constant Caterpillar, basically Viridian Shaman. There he is, Blazing Effigy. I love playing old, bizarre cards in my decks. It's just fun for me. And this is old and bizarre. 2 mana for 0/3. When he dies, I can deal 3 damage to a creature. If I had another effigy, which I won't because I'm playing Commander, I can deal 3 damage to that effigy. And then if I have a third effigy, I can take the 6 damage and deal it to that one. And then if I have a 4th effigy, I can deal that damage to the 4th one, which would then do 12 damage. You can daisy chain them together and do up to 12 damage to a creature with the effigies. And around the time I started playing, people were actually trying to do that. People were actually putting multiple effigies into play and trying to get them killed, or just bolting them themselves in order to chain them together to kill a big creature. That was actually considered semi-efficient 30 years ago. Cheddarfang, Squirrel General. Oh, my dad loves this guy. She left the room, so she's not here to... She'd make comments if she... She's not even hearing me. She's not even hearing me say her name and talk about her making comments about Cheddarfang, the squirrel. So anyway, this guy back there especially, she just thinks he's hilarious. And this guy kind of going, booga, 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 booga. So anyway, Cheddarfang is here, 3/3 force walk. Whenever I make tokens, I get those tokens plus squirrels. And I can sacrifice squirrels. Target creature gets neg X, plus X, neg X till end of turn. Somebody told me about an infinite combo with this guy. I forget who. And I forget exactly. Oh yeah. Pitiless Plunder. If I have Pitiless Plunder out in Cheddarfang, Cheddarfang becomes a machine gun. Because I can spend black, sacrifice one squirrel, give a creature plus X, neg X. Pitiless Plunderer says, hey, you sacked a creature, have a treasure. Cheddarfang says, hey, you made a treasure token, have a squirrel. So from that point, you can then sacrifice the treasure the plunderer gave you for the black. You can sacrifice the squirrel Cheddarfang gave you because of the treasure token to do that again. And just go, ka 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 ka, and just machine gun the entire table as far as creatures go. That's pretty cool, and I didn't see that. That's what I love about Magic sometimes is you'll be looking at the cards and you'll realize, or somebody will point out a new way that they go together that you just didn't even consider. Okay, Liliana, Vertical Healer. She's pretty much in here just as an experiment, just because I have one. I've never played with her that I can recall, and I want to see how she works in this deck. Secure Tri-Builder, sack a Tri-Builder, sack a Snake, get a land. Drained Hermit. Okay, this came out of Edric, so Edric lost Drained Hermit, but he got a Master Waves, and I think Master Waves is going to be better than Edric. Squirrels, baby, squirrels. So 3 green, 1/1, Echo. When it comes to play, he brings 4 little 1/1 squirrels with him, and he makes all squirrels bigger. Burgeoning. I like that art. Pretty cool. Don't know the storyline of this art, don't know if it's supposed to evoke anything other than the Kamigawa. To me, it just reminds me of Kamigawa. Don't know the theme of this set, this particular secret lair, but I just like the art. I wanted a different burgeoning. Swamp. Okay, Savra's coming out because, okay, 2 green, black and green, 2/2 Elf Shaman. Whenever you sacrifice a black creature, you may pay 2 life. You do, everybody else sacks a creature. Whenever you sacrifice a green creature, you may gain 2. So she doesn't do anything on her own. She doesn't do anything on her own. She just kind of sits around waiting to see what gets sacrificed. What the hell kind of... Huh. That's a dark sleeve. I didn't realize that. So I got her online and didn't even realize the sleeve is smoked. It's a tinted sleeve. What the hell is the point of a tinted sleeve? Let's look at that again. So it doesn't, this one layer of it doesn't degrade the art that much. I mean, there you can see the half and half comparison. It doesn't really degrade the art that much, but double, oh man, that makes them... What is the point of a tinted sleeve? Are people playing in sunlight? People playing in, maybe in Australia? I don't know. Weird. You don't want your cards to bleach out? Let's keep going. So Savra, she doesn't do anything on her own. She's a pure reactive card, and I want to put in more things that do something. I want more action cards, not reaction cards. So I'm going to take her out for Micaeus. I suppose I could say I'm taking her out for Indrixar, but let's just get Micaeus in there. So she's coming out. She's coming out. She wants the world to know. Got to let her go. Okay, guys, Cradle, Putrefy, Curveless Forest, Thawing Glaciers. Do I really want this? Probably not. So this is what I will replace. So I'll keep in Hammerheim. Put that Rootbound Crag in. Take out Thawing Glaciers. Okay, that was a easy change. I forget why I had Thawing Glaciers in there, but I must have had a good reason at one time. Alright, this is going to be a long fucking video, isn't it? So Captivating Crew, gain control of target creature and opponent controls and sacrifice it to Korvald. Oh, I can only do that as a sorcery. Still probably pretty good. Mountain. Whenever the creature you control dies, it deals damage equal to the power of the target player. If I'm sacrificing creatures, that's probably a good dude to have. Forest. Ashness Altar. It's an altered altar. Soul Ring. Grave Titan. Grave Titan comes into play and gives 2 things to feed Korvald. And when he attacks, he does the same thing because he is death in form and function. Land. Bone Shredder comes into play, destroy target non-black. Alright, so I did not find anything obvious to take out for Indrixar. So now, if anybody's still watching, kind of have to suffer through. Maybe we should just take out attrition. Because a lot of the lads are playing decks with black. And I've got Bone Shredder, and I can recur the Bone Shredder. Yeah, let's try that. Let's take out Indrixar. As Korvald goes to sleep. Take out attrition for Indrixar. Wonder how that's going to work. I guess I'll find out. So Korvald needs to come to the next Magic Night. He needs to come to the next Pub Night to see how all these changes work, to see if he's more effective. Now, let me be clear. I'm making this deck for Prague. So it is not designed to be at a high tuned level. It's designed to be effective. It's designed to not have any cards that don't fit the theme. But I know Korvald is becoming, or maybe he fell out of favor, but at one time he was a, oh god, not this guy sort of commander. I don't want to build an, oh god, not this guy sort of commander deck. I want to build something fun that works. That works without being too oppressive. That works without being too oppressive for the Prague environment. And I hope this is going to be okay. I don't have a lot of board wipes. What is it that makes Kaervek really oppressive? I do have that infinite combo, but it is 4 cards. And if that becomes a problem, I can always take one of them out. And then I've got funny shit like this. Without looking at any lists, I don't know, but I'll go on a limb here and say not a whole lot of the really bastard Korvalds are playing Hellkite Tyrant. Maybe they are, though. Maybe that's exactly what the deck wants to do, and people are doing it, and I'm just copying them, thinking I'm not copying them because of the card pool and the zeitgeist and just the way things work. Maybe I am copying a lot of the decisions that most Korvald players make when they make their bastard decks. But I hope not. Anyway, so those are the changes for today. I did not find anything obvious for arachnogenesis. I'm just going to put it in my my box of sideboard cards. I'll take it with me on pub night and see what works, see what doesn't. If something doesn't work and arachnogenesis is going to be better, then I'll slide it in. Until next time, amigos, have a good day.